Well, hello and welcome back to Booze Reviews, where I, Aunt Boo, drink some booze and I review movies. Today's booze is the Lady Whistledown, a delicious cocktail of hot orange tea, a drizzling of honey, and a big old fat splash of cinnamon whiskey on the top. Because the Lady Whistledown is always giving us the piping hot spicy tea, honey. That's delicious. Well, hey there. It's been a while since we've met like this. How you been? You doing okay? I missed you. I did. I kind of feel like I've spent the past couple years in a box in my basement, which actually sounds pretty nice. I would have just emerged from my cocoon of ignorance and been like, hey guys, how's our first woman of color president? No, unfortunately, the only black queen serving looks is on Bridgerton. Transition. Season 4, Part 1 of Bridgerton is now showing on Netflix. And Part 2 will air at the end of February, because if you watch the whole thing in its entirety, you would be too horny to function. So they got to split it up. Also, you might throw up a little bit. If you're new to the channel, would you do me a huge favor and like this video and subscribe to my channel? I have reached over 500 subscribers. Watch out, Mr. Beast. I'm coming for ya. The first season of Bridgerton debuted in December of 2020 on Netflix, and it quickly gained popularity. It's produced by Shonda Rhimes.
So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
Based on the books by Julia Quinn, and it has various writers, many of whom, if not the majority, are women. So this is a show written by women, produced by women, and for women. I mean, I don't know a lot of men who are sitting around watching Bridgerton.
Oh my gosh, period, sexy.
Not that kind. Hello.
I don't know a ton of straight men who are watching Bridgerton, all right? So it's safe to say this is a show for women. Keep that in your back pocket. We'll come back to that. Season 1 of Bridgerton was not like anything we'd ever seen before, because it was this mix of Jane Austen and softcore porn, with a fantastic soundtrack that included string quartet versions of Taylor Swift and all of the colors of the rainbow. And Shonda Rhimes made a very bold executive decision to reimagine the past and cast people of color as the main characters. Now, I'm not completely qualified to get into why that might be problematic, because I'm a middle-aged white woman, but let's just say that Regency Era London was sort of marked by debutantes and this change on the social scene of London, and of course the balls.
Balls, 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 balls.
But the thing that we sort of forget about history, well, at least if you're white, is, slavery. Slavery wasn't completely abolished, especially in the colonies in England, until the Slavery Abolition Act, which was in 1834. So having a black person play the Queen of England in this reimagining of Regency Era London is great, but historically, I mean, she's a colonizer. So it's safe to say that a lot of the aristocracy probably made money off of slave trade, if not land and investments in the colonies, and may have even been slave owners. casting people of color as slave owners. Where have I heard that before?
Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton.
So I'm not particularly qualified to speak to that at length, but I'm sure there are other video essays out there that cover this topic much better and less drunkenly. But it's safe to say that Bridgerton may not be the most progressive romance out there, even though I feel like they took great pains to make it look that way. There is a message underlying the entire 4 seasons of Bridgerton, and nobody sums that message up better than this season's wicked stepmother when she says,
"Everyone knows reformed rakes make the best husbands."
yeah. You see, for 4 straight seasons, Bridgerton has given us this beautiful, aesthetically pleasing landscape, the opulence, the colors of the balls.
Balls, 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 balls.
And it's been pretty distracting from something more nefarious beneath its surface. And you recognize it pretty quickly by season 3, that we've been served the same story over
You are a rake. Through and through.
and over
Former capital R, a rake, is ready to flourish.
and over
But how does one spot a rake?
and over again.
I'm a lover of pleasure, a free spirit, untrammeled by mere convention.
You're a rake.
Similar to the one that I received in my 90s evangelical youth group. And that is, boys will be boys, but girls, if you lose your virginity, you are a chewed up piece of gum that's lost its flavor, a beautiful rose that's lost all of its petals and is now just thorns, a white piece of crumpled up paper that's thrown in the trash can, and I kid you not, a white t-shirt with bloodstains on it. Now, in my experience, this was only told to the girls because, you gotta love purity culture. In season 1 of Bridgerton, Daphne and Simon had amazing chemistry. And once again, it looked different than anything we'd ever seen. And we were hooked. This was like Pride and Prejudice, but like on Cinemax, right? So we were all in. These were beautiful actors, good actors, arguably. They made this love story work. Because you get one, all right, where, yeah, he's kind of a whore. He kind of gets around, but he met the woman of his dreams. She somehow roped him into marrying her and settling down. She may have raped him at some point. I think we all just kind of forgot about that too. And I guess they live happily ever after. In season 2, Anthony Bridgerton, the eldest Bridgerton son, of course, has the responsibility of running the estate. So he needs to quit his whoring ways and marry someone. So he sets his sight on the diamond of the season, which is the one that the Queen Charlotte approves of and deems the most valuable debutante of the season. The only problem there is he ended up falling in love with her sister. So chaos ensues, right? He knows what he's doing, as evidenced by this line.
Do you even know all the ways a lady can be seduced? The things I could teach you.
And the 26-year-old sister is, of course, say it with me,
a virgin who can't drive.
So even though there was a slight scandal there, they still ended up getting married and all was well. Now here's where I got real pissed off at Bridgerton. Season 3. This guy, Colin Bridgerton, is arguably the most boring character on the show. He has a boring face. He has boring lines.
I wrote to you this summer, as I always do, and, well, you did not respond. Admittedly, very few did, but...
He puts me to sleep when I look at him. Look at that face. He looks like Winnie the Pooh. He's boring. And yet Penelope, on the other hand, is Lady Whistledown. She, in my opinion, is the most interesting character on the whole show. She's got this double life. She is a modern woman in the fact that she's making her own money. Yeah, it's got to be a secret and all that, but she is the bomb, and her glorious, beautiful breasts. And we're supposed to believe that this Winnie the Pooh face did a fuck tour around Europe, came back all sex-experienced. No, I don't buy it. No, I don't buy it. And his boring face does not deserve to motorboat those beautiful breasts. No, sorry, no. And what is it with the Bridgerton men going straight to third base? Golly. How that season should have gone, and it would have made a much more interesting love story, I think, is that Colin should have remained a virgin too. That would have put him and Penelope as sexual equals. And that is just as good a love story for two unexperienced virgins to come together, pun intended, and experience physical love for the first time. That would have been just as hot, maybe a little awkward at first, but I mean, they would have had to practice and everything. But no, it was clear by this point in the show that this was more of the same. I think that's why it flopped. Season 3 is not my favorite, nor anyone's favorite. And I think there's a reason for that. No, it's not because Penelope is plus size, but that's what our shallow society would think. No, it's because she's too good for Colin. And because Colin's an idiot and he's boring, and they should have been sexual equals. That would have made a more believable and intriguing story. But then along comes season 4. Oh, Benedict, our little bi-curious Benedict, who's been gay baiting us since season 1 in his art house orgy. Oh, Benedict. They couldn't just come out and make him fully gay, right? Because he's a main character, and they just can't do that for whatever reason. That's left to the servants, right? The servants can be like in love and gay and stuff, but not a Bridgerton. Because remember, the underlying message of Bridgerton is that these man whores just need to meet the right debutante virgin who will completely transform their ideas about love, their fixed mindsets about marriage, and will just enrapture them with their holy vaginas. Why do we, as a society, keep worshiping virginity? Benedict is a man about town. And while, yes, he expresses that sexually and he's sexually adventurous, he's also incredibly artistic and passionate. And he realizes that his position in the Bridgerton family is he doesn't want the obligation of having the weight of a title, because it kind of takes away from his passion and pursuing a real career as an artist. In fact, he undermines himself when it comes to his art. And in that way, he's kind of sympathetic. I mean, he's still figuring it out. Season 4 is derivative, of course, because of the whole Cinderella story. Now, don't worry, part 2 is coming up, and I have never read the books, but I can tell you what's going to happen, because that's just how these things go. We're going to find out that Sophie actually does have a title, that she has some right to land. Her father probably did leave her money and estate in the will, and her stepmother will be shamed and run out of town. Hopefully she'll be like thrown in jail. She is just cruel, but also, ooh, those cheekbones. Ooh, she is fine. She's the shit. So yeah, don't worry. Our sweet little Sophie, all will be well. Benedict will be able to marry her, and it's not going to bring shame on the whole family just because she's a servant. All right? Something will work out. It always does. But I tell you what she will be on their wedding night.
A virgin who can't drive.
Because in Bridgerton, we celebrate men's sexuality and simultaneously celebrate a woman's virginity. Now I know what you're thinking because I can hear it. I can hear you through the screen. You're thinking, it ain't that deep, Carrie. Well, it was a different time. It was a different time. It was when women didn't have, the sexual freedom that they do now. Have you been paying attention? Have you been in a box in my basement for the past 2 years? Do you know what's happening right now? And just so we're clear, internalized misogyny is the subconscious adoption of sexist ideologies, stereotypes, and biases by women, causing them to devalue themselves and other women. And it's rooted in patriarchal societal conditioning. Of course it is. It manifests as self-doubt, shame, competition with other women, or upholding traditional gender roles. It is a form of psychological oppression. So yes, it is that deep. All right? Your daughters are watching Bridgerton. Your moms are watching Bridgerton. Your grandma's probably watching Bridgerton. Your nieces are watching Bridgerton. Your girlfriends are watching Bridgerton. And yes, it was a different time when you can even be caught kissing a man without someone insisting that you marry that man. All right. So it was a different time. Then why don't we stop romanticizing that time? Why don't we stop setting romances during that time? The reason why it worked for someone like Jane Austen was because she was of that time. She knew the rules of society, and everyone played within those rules, the men and the women. It's not like Mr. Darcy had a reputation for being a whore when he was pursuing Elizabeth. The sexuality of men was never celebrated in Jane Austen. It wasn't about that. It was about the rules of society. Bridgerton isn't like that. Each and every one of our male lead characters has been pretty promiscuous. And each and every one of our female lead characters, not. In a previous season, we got an idea of the kind of woman that Benedict liked. He liked that widow, and he liked how adventurous she was and how worldly she was. And he was taken in by her. I really think he fell in love with her. But it just didn't work out. She knew it wouldn't work out, and he kind of reluctantly accepted that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm totally buying that they're falling in love, because their chemistry is great. The actors are fantastic, and there are some genuine moments where they talk about their responsibilities. They talk about their insecurities, both of them having immense insecurities to overcome, not feeling quite comfortable out in society. Both of them are wanting to be their own person, but feel somewhat held back. I get that. I get it. It's cute. They flew a kite. And she was like, wow, what a kite. Just as last season, they should have made both Colin and Penelope sexual equals by both being virgins. Why don't they really amp up the stakes? and give Benedict a true equal, not just in station, but in world experience. If Benedict, a known rake, I don't like that word, because it's like, I guess they call him a rake because they like plow through the countryside. If Benedict, a known whore, were to marry someone with equally known sexual experience, that would be more in line with what we know of Benedict. That would be raising the stakes. And that would really make Bridgerton a more progressive romance, because nothing is more progressive than celebrating a woman's sexuality. So yeah, let's go ahead and leave the past in the past, and let's move into 2026, or what I like to call the heated rivalry era of romance. That's coming up next. Well, thank you so much for hanging out today. I'm so glad you did. You could be doing anything, but if you stayed till the end of this video, you have a great attention span, and I love you for it. So what do you think? Comment below if you think I'm way off base. I'm not. I'm not way off base. I'm not. I'm so right. I am so right about this. Tell me your thoughts about Bridgerton. Have you watched it? Will you watch it? What do you think of the season? Do you hate Colin Bridgerton as much as I do? I fucking hate him. I hate him. And that's it.